Hello, and welcome to another episode of Meet Your SCPs. I am your host, Mrs. Jellyfish. Today, I'd like to alert you all to a creature that has baffled many as to its origin, and some as to its overall purpose, though it seems to me to be a species of fellow seekers of knowledge. Now, if any of you would like to follow along with the read of the file itself, the link will be in the description details. Let's begin, shall we? Item number SCP-803, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. All redacted instances of SCP-803 are to be contained in separate biohazard containment cells at Site Redacted. The specimens are to be fitted with radio transmitters set to secure channels. One D-Class subject is to be provided for experimentation in the event of extreme hostility from SCP-803 instances. Description: SCP-803-1 is a currently undetermined number of autonomous machines resembling small umbrellas, averaging 170 centimeters in width and 150 centimeters in height. An average specimen is almost indistinguishable from a normal umbrella. There are no identifying marks or labels on instances of SCP-803-1. When unfolded, a large amount of medical equipment is visible on the underside of SCP-803-1's canopy. These include vials of varying liquids and gases, plastic tubing, syringes, scalpels, various motors and joints, data expunged. All specimens possess the ability to retract, disguise, or otherwise hide this equipment, making identification of SCP-803-1 in the field difficult. All attempts to disassemble or deactivate instances of SCP-803 are forbidden by order of Dr. Redacted. See Addendum 803-1. SCP-803-2 resemble SCP-803-1 in almost all respects, except for a greatly increased wingspan of 5 meters and a central power system apparently fueled by Redacted. SCP-803-2 serve as carriers for swarms of SCP-803-1 on rows of metal hooks that replace the medical equipment found in instances of SCP-803-1. The primary function of SCP-803 instances appear to be the capture, experimentation, and occasionally dissection or vivisection of medium to large mammals, using the aforesaid apparatus. Specimens of SCP-803-2 hunt by either wading in a large open area or by tumbling through the air using natural updrafts and bursts of compressed air emitted from the tips of their canopy. Upon encountering a viable target, the instance will release its flock of SCP-803-1, who will proceed to inject a muscle relaxant into the subject and then experiment upon it. Redacted % of subjects survive these procedures, which may involve removal and or transplantation of organs, blood, urine, and cerebral spinal fluid sampling, monitoring of data expunged, and may last up to redacted minutes. Surviving subjects report being fully conscious during the experiments, as well as intense pain and feelings of panic. Flocks of SCP-803 comprise an average of redacted individuals and have been sighted in the following locations: somewhere in Brazil, somewhere in Japan, somewhere in Australia, and data expunged. Addendum 803-1. Sometime in the 2000s, several D-Class subjects were ordered by Research Assistant Redacted to dismantle an instance of SCP-803-1 using hammers, saws, and wrenches. When the first D-Class attempted to remove the handle, the specimen violently ruptured. 2 of the 3 D-Class were injured by large, sharp pieces of metal from the instance, inflicting wounds comparable to those caused by crossbow bolts fired at close range. 1 D-Class died instantly due to a metal rod entering his skull. The second D-Class initially survived, but later died of viral infections carried on the needles of the specimen. The third D-Class quickly redacted, due to unidentified chemicals within SCP-803-1, with only 1.2 kilos of biological material being recovered. Research Assistant Redacted was severely reprimanded. Addendum 803-2. Sometime in the 2000s, autopsy of a D-Class subject captured by SCP-803-1 instances during the redacted containment breach discovered a small metallic dodecahedron at the top of the spinal column. The purpose of this object is currently unknown. Some of you may wonder why earlier I referred to these strange creatures as fellow seekers of knowledge. Well, I know that they use many of the same techniques that we do. In point of fact, if one of our operatives were to be taken by the enemy, and it looked like they were going to be getting information out of him or her come hell or high water, that operative would be more than likely to take his or her own life and the lives of a few others if possible, much like what happened when that research assistant ordered tests well above her pay grade. I'm still trying to convince High Command of the Parasol's sentience. They are not mere animals. They are an alien-type entity that ought to be studied as such, not just a Euclid organism to be taken out of the wild. We need to know how they came to be here in the first place. With that last thought, I shall close. Watch what you put over your head, because a little bit of rain may be the least of your worries. If you like what you've heard here, please click the like button and share with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button to keep up with all of the SCP goodness that comes out, usually once a week at least. This is Dr. Mrs. Jellyfish, signing off.